Rumours that the Doctor would regenerate into David Tennant once again have been around since he left the show in 2010. However, with the announcement of Jodie Whittaker leaving at the end of the year and Russell T Davies returning to the role of showrunner, these rumours have reappeared. This video isn't going to look into the credibility of these rumours, but rather should David Tennant be the 14th Doctor. Firstly, if David was to be the new Doctor, it would lead to an increase in the general public's attention for the show heading into the centenary special in November. This would be beneficial for the show and the BBC, as Doctor Who soared in popularity during the time of the 10th Doctor, and many of the fans who stopped watching when he left might begin to watch the show again. In addition, it wouldn't be the first time the Doctor regenerated into a past version of themselves, as seen when Tom Baker returned in the 50th special to play a future incarnation of the Time Lord, so in the canon of the show it is possible for the Doctor to do this. As a fan of the 10th Doctor, as he was the first Doctor I ever watched, it would be great to see him come back to the show, but as the 10th Doctor, not the 14th. We've already had Tennant's run, and him coming back will just be relying on the past too much, and at its core, Doctor Who is a show about moving forward and evolving. We've just had the first female Doctor, and it would feel like a massive step back if we were to bring Tennant back. The position of the 14th Doctor, however, could be a great opportunity for a new actor to step into the role and bring something completely new to the character. With RTD's writing, they can bring us some incredible episodes without including David Tennant. However, I didn't want this video to just be my opinion, so I reached out to Connor, Vinny and Aidan to see their thoughts on if David Tennant should be the 14th Doctor.
Hello, my name's Connor Hannam from sunny Perth, Western Australia. I'm the co-host of the 50% Doctor Who podcast, and I've been asked to send in my thoughts today about David Tennant being the 14th Doctor, which I personally think is a load of shit. Now, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear on this video, but what I can do is crack open this beer, like a true Australian. Okay, now, let's be honest, David Tennant isn't going to be the 14th Doctor. Now you can replay that clip when he is. No, but seriously, I don't think he is. I don't think it's going to happen. Every single time a new Doctor is about to be announced, we hear about how David Tennant's going to be the new Doctor. Now, of course, with Russell T Davies coming back, more people are going to think that. We've also got this weird thing with Jodie regenerating and then it being the 60th, and will Russell want to bring in a new Doctor for the 60th and there's going to be other Doctors in it potentially? I don't know. So I can see why people think it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Only way I could see it happen is if maybe it's an alternate version of David Tennant and it's alternate versions of other Doctors, which is a way they could probably bring back Jodie after her just regenerating an episode prior. I don't know. I don't write this shit. Maybe I should. Now, honestly, would I be upset to see David Tennant come back? No. Would it be weird to see him come back and be the Doctor? Yeah, it kind of would be. And let's be honest, if they bring back David Tennant as the 14th Doctor, it kind of does feel like they've run out of ideas completely, which I don't think they have. So it's a no from me. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, we'll live with it, and I'm sure it'll be really cool. But I trust Russell, and I know whatever he does will be the right decision. And I guess we'll find out soon if Dave will be the 14th Doctor, or if it'll be someone else. Who knows? But that was me, Connor Hannam, the 25% of the 50% Doctor Who podcast. It's a great joke. All the way from Perth, Western Australia. Thanks for having me, Jacob. Cheers.
Hello. I have been asked to give my opinion on if David Tennant should return to Doctor Who as the 14th Doctor, because they seem to be the sort of big rumours at the moment. I don't know if Russell returning makes people think that or makes people believe it. As a massive David Tennant fangirl, he is my Doctor. He's also my favourite actor. My favourite series of Doctor Who is one of his. I'm starting to sound very biased here, but believe me, that's not where it's going. I don't think he should return. No. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I think that Russell has a lot of ideas, not that I'm aware of them. I think his ideas with his second run of the show will be phenomenal. And he said in the past that he thinks that David Tennant has the capability to have different spin-off shows that tie into the main story, very similar to how the Marvel universe operate at the moment. So you've got your Marvel films, but you've also got WandaVision and Loki and Hawkeye and like all the other shows. WandaVision is tying in to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and I think Russell will end up doing something like that, or I hope that Russell will end up doing that. If Tennant does return, it should be in that capacity. So if the 10th Doctor's going to be in the 60th, but we need a bit of background or whatever, having like a little mini 4-episode run or whatever, or just a one-off episode to link into his involvement in the 60th, if that makes sense. That would work. I'd be absolutely fine with that. I think other fans would probably be fine with that as well. To me, personally, it makes no sense for him to return as the Doctor full-time. I also don't think he'd actually do that. Just to summarise, I think that I would love to see him back as the Doctor, only in a limited capacity. I don't want him to take over the reins from Jodie. Like, I don't want Jodie to regenerate and it be David Tennant again. Would I be upset if that was the case? No. I just don't think it would work. I don't think it would work for the show. I don't think it would work for how, they're trying to move the show forward. Going back to a previous Doctor, whether it's to bump up the viewings or the ratings or whatever, it just makes no sense. The beauty of Doctor Who is that we can return to these old characters that we love, especially with the human Doctor existing in the parallel world. That always gives an opportunity for David to come back, which I am all for, but I don't want him to be the 14th Doctor. I don't know who I want. Maybe Paul Bettany.
Hello, Jacob. Aidan here. 50% podcast. You know the stuff. Morning Hair also is really not great at the moment. What are my thoughts on the 14th Doctor being David Tennant, or possibly being David Tennant? I don't think it's worth too many thoughts. is my opinion. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think David would want to do that. He's got his own run, and I think as a big fan of the show, he wouldn't want to do it unless Russell said some magical words that made him want to do it. But I also don't think Russell would want to do it, because Russell is a showrunner that's always been about moving forward, telling stories that haven't been told before, challenging, the conventions that we know in TV drama. You look at things like It's a Sin, and it's telling stories that have never been told before on TV, and that's why that series is so important, I think. And I think he knows, like, if he was to say yes to doing Who again, I don't think it's a victory lap for him. I don't think it's him retreading old ground and things. This is him wanting to move forward and knowing the direction that Who needs to go to stay modern and up to date. Series 1 of the revival wasn't all about retreading on old stuff. It kind of acted as a reboot. Obviously had the Doctor, but there was not really much mention to any past faces. I think the first time you saw the past faces of the Doctor on screen was in season 3. So he was very much in those first few seasons about moving the show forward before bringing back in elements of the show's past. And I think that will be a similar case for this new era of RTD, for RTD2. And unless my thing would be maybe David's in the 60th and this is just a rumor or like a bit of information that has been twisted and gone way out of hand. That's what I think it probably is. As to whether David would have a full series in the 60th year still playing the 10th Doctor, possible, but once again, I think it still runs the thing of Russell wanting to push the show forward and tell new stories. And I think it's pretty forced to have to squeeze in a proper TV story arc into David's run, because it's got a pretty straightforward run. Obviously, not all the stories go like back to back with each other, but his character arc is very thought out in RTD's original run, and I don't think he'd want to do a full series that would tarnish that at all. Big Finish, you can get away with it, but on screen's a bit different. Sorry, that was a bit long, but 14th Doctor is not going to be David Tennant. Peace and love.
A huge thank you to Connor, Vinny and Aidan for help making this video possible. Ultimately, David Tennant shouldn't be the 14th Doctor, and the show should continue to move forward and constantly change, because that's what makes it Doctor Who. So if you did enjoy this video, I have a podcast, the Now That's What I Call Comedy podcast. The link will be in the description below, as well as the links to all the people that helped make this video possible. I also have a Twitter at now_that's comedy. Thank you. Goodbye.